What's up, guys? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla SPY in the overall market. Just note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. So, that being said, guys, let's talk about what's about to happen right here. So, from the way the market's looking, I just want to say that there is a very, very interesting amount of volatility that's coming to the markets, and we're seeing buyers defending right now, as of right now, at least to clarify. So, when the data came out for PCE, despite the fact that consumer spending was not that great, everything else was quite decent, right? Everything else was quite decent. We actually got a decent report for PCE for the first time in a long time. We got some decent data. And as a result, the market's now trying to bounce. We started off with a small dip only to rebound. So with that being said, with the market holding up and even the Chicago PMI was decent, this is very, very good for a bounce with all the puts expiring for today. The market's holding up very nicely. So as far as Tesla goes, let's talk about these levels. When you zoom out, you could see that Tesla has been on a much larger downtrend for a very long time, making lower highs and lower lows. We had this support that was very close to that 280 area, and also we dipped all the way down to like 272 before we got some kind of bounce. But we were due for this. I was talking about how if we could hold 280, we're looking for some kind of rebound. The market did lose. We didn't really lose our supports. We just saw a liquidity grab. So we dipped below the supports quickly, only to get bought back up above them. And that's where buyers defended. So buyers did try to hold us back above, for example, like 280 on Tesla. And that's a good sign. So now we're going to be looking at this 290 area as our resistance. If we break this, I see this imbalance that will attract us back up to about 297. And then if that breaks, we have this trend line very close to that 300 to 302 area coming next. We could see a temporary move up, but I just want to warn you all that we still haven't fully filled our gap over here. So if you look at like the daily on Tesla, we haven't filled the gap yet. There's still this big gap that remains here. We're just bouncing off these previous resistances becoming supports around that 270 area, which is what we called out already. So for now, it's just a temporary bounce. I want to clarify that and make that as clear as possible. Could Tesla go a little higher? Yes, it can. I want to see if we could get a close above 290. If that's the case, we're going to be looking a little bit more promising to start off the week. But this is just a temporary move for the markets, so I can't guarantee you it's going to last forever. I would like to see Tesla retest our trend line very close to 300. And that's going to be very, very interesting, at least for now. So with that being said, I think that this is looking pretty decent. I would be careful with trying to play swings, by the way, for those who are curious and have questions for me. I prefer just taking profits because of volatility in the markets, at least on a day-to-day basis. I prefer scalping. That's like my style. But if you have a different opinion, you could try. You could try something. Just be careful over the weekend, especially if we get more tariff news on SPY. So SPY is looking promising because we're holding 585. Now, if we lose 585, you're looking for an attempt to get back down to 582, then 580 or below. As long as we're above 585, this is going to be attempting to rebound, right? So we're going to be looking at previous support becoming resistance around 588 to 589. If that breaks, I'm looking for the 590 area, then 594 as our potential targets. We're looking a bit more bullish right now. We're still favoring upside and we're looking quite good. So great job by SPY and the overall market for this push attempt. So far, so good. Now, if we continue, okay, it's awesome to see, but just keep in mind this may just be a temporary move because of all the tariff news. So yes, we're getting a balance after so much red. We are due for that, but I can't promise you this move is going to last forever. So you want to be very careful, right? I'm trying to say that what I personally did is I took profits already, at least on most positions. In terms of just my my day trades, I'm not talking about shares and things like that. I'm just talking about day trades. I took profits just to be safe for the most part, and I'm just holding some runners just to be safe, just for fun. Looking at the QQQ, we're also trying to bounce right here. We have a rebound. So I was talking about how 500 is a very psychological area. We saw a temporary dip for a liquidity grab, and then we held 500. If we lose 500, we could be dipping back down to the mid 490s. As long as we're above 500, we're looking for an attempt to get back up towards the 505 area. And if that breaks, we're looking for essentially 510. So we're looking quite good on the QQQ. I could see this attempt to continue to push. We're doing good so far. On the Russell 2000, we're on a bit of a downtrend here. We want to see if this liquidity grab continues. So here's what I'm looking for. If you go to like our 30-minute time frame, we have resistance right here at 213.75. That breaks. I'm looking for just under 215. If we lose 212.73, though, it's going to be a bad sign. So as long as we're above the 212.7 area, we are still favoring upside. The bulls have a bigger edge for now. On ES, we look a bit more bullish. So we have support at 58.91, and we also have resistance around this 59.07 area. If that breaks, we're looking for an attempt to get back up towards these higher levels, such as 59.30. I'm going to be looking at that first. I see potential to go higher, but I want to see if we could try to break 59 hard. It's going to be a tough resistance. We'll see if ES could break that later on. There is potential for try to push more. As long as we don't end up losing 58.50, we do have potential to go higher. Same thing with NQ. We have a nice inverse head and shoulders and a double bottom. Make sure you watch 20,750 if that breaks. We're looking for a bigger push for 20,840. If we end up looking and losing 20,650, we're looking for a retest of the 20,500s. So keep those levels in mind. This is still looking a bit more bullish, a little bit more bullish for now. I just want to see us break 20,750 for confirmation for more upside. Bitcoin's trying to get back up to about this resistance right here to 84,000. We could get close to 85,000 as long as we hold above this. So there could be a small push on Bitcoin. Not that huge of a move. On Nvda, it came very close to my target of 115. It actually hit around 116. So it came a little short of that target. But that's okay because now we're trying to reverse. So I want to see if we could break 124 to get back up to about like the 126s. That's where we have previous a very, very key level right here. We saw a lot of liquidity over here. So I would like to see a break of 124 for this to bounce more. Tesla's trying to push more, guys, looking pretty good so far, but this is just a temporary move, just as a reminder. Apple's looking promising. Let's see if we can break past 237. If that's the case, we're looking for 240, or a little bit under 240 is our targets. If we break 237.69, if we lose 235, we turn bearish. But for now, we are looking like we want to see a temporary bounce. There's other stocks out there, even like AMD is trying to get back above 100. As long as that holds, I'm looking for an attempt for 102. For coin, we look a bit more bullish. Can we break 216.8? If that's the case, we're looking for essentially just under like 220 that could be coming. So it's a temporary bounce. This is kind of trying to rebound with Bitcoin, looking pretty promising. Amazon's very flat. We're looking for a test of 211. If that breaks, then I'm looking for 212.5. Then eventually 215 is our targets, just for a temporary move up. Meta looks a bit more bullish. We're going to be looking for 665 to see if we bounce or not, but that has potential. Microsoft is kind of flat, stuck in the middle. And then same thing with Google, we're kind of flat right now. I want to see if we can hold a 171 to bounce, though, so watch that very closely. The VIX looking a little bit bearish. This is just a temporary move down, so just keep that in mind. And with that being said, guys, SPY is trying to push a lot more. Tesla's also trying to push, so it's looking pretty good for a Friday squeeze. I did tell everyone we had lots of puts expiring. So we're holding support. We're trying to rebound, and just keep in mind that as the market's bouncing and seeing a mini squeeze, this might just be a temporary move. I'm not saying the market's going to bounce forever. It's just a temporary move for now. I would like to see Tesla retest this trend line near 300. I would love to see that. There is potential in it just for the short term, okay? With that being said, thank you for listening. Have a good one. Let's see how we end up closing for the day. Then keep in mind there's a lot of news coming out next week, which I will keep you guys updated about. Until then, thank you for listening. Have a good one and peace out.